FSF PopCast live show. Well, hello, kids and cadets. Welcome to another FSF PopCast Sidebar. And of course, in this marvelous month of March, we are celebrating the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, and also the television universe, because those two things are starting to tie together. And so we're kind of excited about some of the stuff that we've seen over the last little bit. And in our continuation of the celebration of all things Marvel, tonight we're going to talk about the drama in the courtroom. And so we see with the most current show, of course, that is Daredevil Born Again. But we also need to look back at She-Hulk, because that was also a courtroom style show as well. So yeah, lots to talk about tonight.
Yeah, quite a bit. So Tim, are you actually caught up on Daredevil now?
I am. I actually took a chance and sat down and watched everything. And well, not that I shouldn't say took a chance, but I made the chance. I took the time. I made the time to sit down and watch the third episode, because I wanted to have that be up to speed as much as possible before. I just have to sit back down and watch it with Kendall, because we had only watched the first two episodes together. But I'm like, I need to watch this for the show. So you might be on your own a little bit, but here we go. So,
because I think it was yesterday when you're like, well, I've only watched the first one, and I actually had heart palpitations. Like, why?
Yeah.
And I think you understand now.
I do. Yeah, there's a lot going on. But we lost our file. Okay. StreamYard, by the way, is having some issues tonight. So I'm not sure how many slides are or how many of our images are actually going to work. But I think I can get this one back.
At the very least, you get our smiling faces.
That's right. But before we jump into anything else, I just want to take a moment to say thank you, of course, because our show is made possible by viewers like you, and of course, our show partners. Without our viewers, there's no show partners, and without our show partners, there's no show. So we want to say thank you to Bones Coffee Company. Go to bonescoffeecompany.com, and you can use code FSF PopCast there and get 10% off of your order. And they have amazing coffee and really cool nerdy branded coffees for anything from SpongeBob SquarePants to Star Wars to Star Trek. It's a lot of really cool stuff in there. Even some sports themed stuff. Like they had some Orlando Magic coffee a little bit ago from the NBA. Also, I want to say thank you to Idea Farm. They are formerly TCTs. So if you're anywhere in the Midwest or like Midwest themed apparel, maybe you're from the Midwest, but you live in a not Midwestern state, Idea Farm has you covered. And this is where fandom meets fashion. And they have all kinds of different things. A lot of fun, really cool, fun themed shirts from everything nerdy to, backwoods stories, Sasquatch to everything. There's a lot of really cool stuff there. And then, of course, the one, the only Level Up Sabers, which I would show you my uncharged one, but I'm going to, because it is uncharged, but I have it torn apart right now because I'm fixing something, but that's my hilt. So see, there's you go. All the guts are out of it. I'm having a problem. Alan is sending me a new charger base for it. So we're working on that right now. So that's the great thing. There is great support from Level Up Sabers. If anything should need to get repaired, I mean, let's admit it. Nothing is perfect in this world. No matter how good the support is from the company, sometimes you may have an issue with the product. And Alan has been just tops, man. He's tops on everything. And he stands behind his product. He takes care of people. And yeah, I think nothing but the highest, Master Alan from Level Up Sabers. So click the link, buy yourself a saber, buy yourself, your friend a saber, go in the backyard, play whack-a-mole. It's a lot of fun. So
yeah, it really is. So, get one for your kid. They have a youngling saber. It's only like what, $50 or $60. Get one for
something
your kid.
Like that, yeah.
Let them beat the crap out of you and develop some life skills.
There you go.
Or you developing the life skills. Either way, it'll be fun.
one way, one how, some way, somehow, rather, somebody's going to have fun and somebody's going to get just absolutely waxed. So, because we're having problems, I'm just going to put. I had a whole bunch of slides. We're just going to put one photo up to talk about Daredevil for right now, and I'll try to bring up some of the other photos later because they are kind of important to some of the things I want to talk about this show. But tonight's show, we're going to talk about Daredevil and She-Hulk. So, there's a lot going on. This is a very heavy 3 episodes. This is sitting on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
What's happening next? What's going on? Oh my God! Did his bone just come through his forearm? Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember like when the trailer first dropped, I'm like, okay, I watched it. I'm like, okay, Kathleen, I need to watch you watch this because I know that you're going to be doing like an anatomical analysis of exactly what happened to these people, and you'll be able to repeat it back to me, almost like I'm back at work because I work at a hospital. And couple of these injuries actually like gave her pause and made her a little squeamish, which does not happen.
Not very often, no. I would have actually paid good money to watch that.
Unless it's like me or our kid bleeding, she's okay normally.
Yeah, that's different.
But yeah. Whew.
Yeah, there was a couple where I was kind of like, I kind of gave the TV the stank face, kind of like, ooh, just.
Yeah. The end of episode 2 was good in terms of a fight scene, which comes back in this 3rd episode.
Yeah. We're trying very hard not to be spoilery because now clearly episode 3 has only been out for not even 48 hours yet. And so we try to keep within a 48 to 72 hour window on these shows of not being spoilery. Outside of that 48 hours, all bets are off. But we don't even hit 48 hours for a couple hours yet. So, but I mean, some of the pictures you're seeing here are going to be from episode 3. And there is going to be something coming up that we're going to talk about that is very much a spoiler for episode 3. And before I put the picture up, I will warn you and I will tell you that it's coming because if spoilers matter to you, I don't want to ruin it for you because it's kind of a big deal.
So I do have a minor
leather-bound books.
Yeah, sorry, I do have a minor complaint, and I need to correct something we talked about last week or the week before.
All right.
There are not 18 episodes this season. I think there's only like 8.
There's only 8 of Daredevil?
According to IMDb, which I know is the Wikipedia of the entertainment industry. But yeah, it's still a short season. If you're looking it up, let me know if I'm wrong. But I am
looking it up.
Okay.
Because I
know, right? We don't use those words on this show normally, but
I was all excited. I was like, man, this could be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, between the 2 seasons, I think it comes out to 17 or 18. But yeah.
But
anyway, even then,
hold on one second.
At least the episodes are staying over 40 minutes so far. I'm happy with that. I just wish there were more of them. Tim, you okay?
Yeah, I'm reading. You keep talking. I'm reading.
Anyway, yeah, and what they've done just in these 3 episodes has been astonishing television. Like the character development, the fight scenes, the character development, it's been phenomenal, and that's why I want more.
It's still too soon for that, Kathleen.
Yeah, Foggy.
Tim is the dead air tonight.
Yeah, because you're the one who's not talking, and I have.
Yeah, to sorry. I was reading. Yeah, I was expecting you to fill. No, so I found another article on, of course, IMDb, but they said that 18 episodes were recorded, but what they think is there's no confirmation, but what they believe, it says, however, this appears to confirm claims from a few online scoopers who have said the series is being split in 2, with the other 9 episodes now likely to serve as Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
So then what are they filming in New York now?
Season 3.
Ooh.
So it's either officially season 2 or officially season 3, but either way, there's multiple seasons, and if they did break it up, I mean, if they're doing 9 episodes and they're all at this 45-minute runtime, I'm not going to complain as badly. Right. Because if it's 45 minutes and it's written and done like these first 3 episodes have been done, sign me up. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still want my 15 to 20 episodes a season. But I'll shut up a little bit more about the lack of episodes.
Yeah. If they're longer and they're quality episodes, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as there's not a Lizzo and Jack Black episode in this season, we're good.
I will riot.
Yeah.
I could use a mass vigilante to deal with our neighborhood's loud, crappy music tonight.
I might know a guy, but he's not available for another hour. And basically his solution is a bigger sound system with bagpipes.
I mean,
or Disney music.
It works.
Yeah.
I do want to say that one of the things I appreciate most about this series so far, because we're talking about shows that are done in the MCU in a courtroom style setting. This show to me so far in 3 episodes is like Law and Order.
Yeah.
On cocaine. This is fast and furious, man. This is just hard charge going, and it's very intense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really is.
But, and I think that's probably what I'm enjoying about it.
Yeah.
I would love to see a primetime, courtroom. I mean, I grew up on Law and Order. I think everybody did. It's been on for like 53 seasons at this point. But everybody's watched at least an episode of some form of Law and Order somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
And it's all the same courtroom procedural style stuff, things along these lines. And this is very courtroom procedural, what we're seeing in this, especially in episode 3. Episode 3 is very court heavy.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, Matt is dedicated to being a lawyer at this point.
Right. This stage of his career, he doesn't want to be Daredevil. He wants to be Matt Murdock. He just wants to be a normal Joe who can, hear from 5 blocks away because of his eyes not working so good.
Right. Which works out great in the courtroom, that he's listening to these whispers around the room, and Hector's heart rate going up, and be like, okay, you gotta be calm.
Don't show any emotion. Don't show him emotion.
Don't respond.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very courtroom procedural heavy, which is fine. But even what's happening in the courtroom, you're hanging on every word. You're hanging on every action. What's going on? How's this going to affect the story later? Whereas, in a lot of courtroom shows, and even Law and Order shows, you're kind of like, well, I can come back to this. I could probably skip something and it'll get explained again later.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily the case here. I think if you would have missed something in the courtroom scenes, you missed something in the courtroom scenes, and you're probably not going to catch up on it later.
Yeah.
I think it's something you have to go back and watch again.
Yeah.
Hey, Janice, welcome. So I have been very, very excited about this. I'm also kind of excited about I'm excited about the way this season started.
Go on.
I'm gonna hold on. My slides aren't working. I have to find my picture.
Oh my!
All right.
This guy.
Now, I'm assuming this is Bullseye.
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't tell because he didn't have a bullseye tattoo on his forehead. Colin Farrell. Anyway, but the fight between him and Daredevil on that roof, and Daredevil sitting there with all these knives sticking out of him.
Yeah.
And, he's got crap hanging out of him. And there's just, I mean, these guys, they look exhausted. They look wore out. And I was like, I was pissed at him because he shot Foggy. Then I was pissed at Matt Murdock because he throws him off the roof. And I'm like, oh man, really? We're killing Bullseye already? And then the head picks up slowly from the pavement. I'm like,
uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
But yeah, I love the fact that they have him tied and fettered down. His hands are under wraps, so he can't get to anything to use anything as a weapon. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Now, there is a theory, unsubstantiated by anything currently known about the show.
I like theories.
That Foggy has faked his death. That he's in witness protection. Yeah.
Okay.
And that he had used the same chemical that Fury used to fake his death, where you get 1 heartbeat a minute, just enough to keep you alive.
Interesting.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Bullseye looked like Bullseye hit him right in the heart.
Yeah, there's that. But
or so closely adjacent to it that there was, I mean, that's neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah.
That's arguing semantics, but which, you know, we're fans, we're gonna do that.
Right. We're gonna theorize. We're gonna be like, wouldn't it be cool if they did this?
Exactly. Janet says, let's have Montana Jordan on your podcast. Yeah, we've actually sent off requests to his agent. We just haven't heard back yet. So if he gets on the show, you'll find out. I promise. My dad took me to urgent care today, bronchitis. Oh man. Ooh, feel better, Janice. Hope you feel better.
Yeah.
That's no fun. That's a rough way to go right there.
Yeah.
So all right, hold on here a second. I gotta dig through photos. All right.
Sure. You're doing a really good job keeping up with technology. I mean, especially being close to 50, you're doing good keeping up with technology.
All right, so guys, here, remember earlier I said if you have a problem with spoilers, you need to turn away for a couple minutes because this is where the spoilers are going to come in. So we're going to go back to this picture for just a moment. Now, in this image, we see this gentleman here, Henry Alvaya. So I can't remember how they pronounce his name, so I apologize now. Anyway, it revealed that he is another masked vigilante named the White Knight.
White Tiger. White Tiger.
What's that?
The White Tiger.
Yeah, the White Tiger. I'm sorry. Yeah. What did I say?
Knight.
Definitely not the White Knight. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Hey, welcome, Granzer. This is the Daredevil TV show.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Daredevil TV show. It's on Disney Plus right now, and so we are talking about a few spoilers, Granzer. So hopefully you're okay with a few spoilers for a few minutes. But yeah. John is so very funny. You are so close to 50. Wow, just getting rubbed right in there. That's awesome. The White Knight, or does he fight the White Knight? He actually does neither. He's neither the White Knight nor does he fight the White Knight. Tim just misspeaks a lot. All right,
now I want White Castle, but the nearest one is like an hour and a half from me.
No, they call them sliders for a reason, John, because they slide in, they slide out.
Exactly. You got room for more.
No.
That's actually the first fast food burger place in the country. Get off my podcast, you whippersnappers.
Yeah, what are you guys doing out there on my podcast making jokes about me? Oh. Anyway, okay, there's enough of that.
Yep.
All right, so let's see, John, which t-shirt are you sporting for us today?
Oh, tonight I'm just wearing a bass clef because I play bass. And
John slaps at the bass.
Actually, I don't slap. I've never been good at slap.
That's not the point, John. Jesus. Ruining all my fun. Okay.
What I'm here for.
This is
ruining your fun. All right. So of you.
Well, at least we know now. I have not heard of it. No, it is not on the CW. This is on Disney Plus. This is Daredevil Born Again. We are talking about a few spoilers on here, so hopefully you're okay with spoilers. I'll give you a second to make that decision if you're okay with spoilers or not. But what we have here is we're No, Kathleen, we're not putting that on the screen.
I actually play with a pick. It offends a lot of people. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Aha, you are Jason Newsted.
Learn to play watching videos of him. Yes.
Hey, it could be a lot worse. Newsted is an amazing bass player.
Mm-hmm.
He's criminally underrated. Sorry,
I'm reading the comments as they go by.
Yes, I figured you were.
Okay, looks like everybody's good with spoilers.
You are catching up with Will Wheaton. I'm okay with catching up to Will Wheaton. If you're going to compare me to somebody, Will Wheaton's a good person to get compared to.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Murdoch here standing next to Henry Ayala, however you say his name. Anyway, he is the White Tiger, and Murdoch is able to get him freed. All the charges are dropped, and he's told, "Hey, don't ever go. You're not going to ever be able to go back out as the White. I almost said White Knight again. The White Tiger. It's just not a thing." And he's like, "Yep, I know," but he does it anyway. The police are very unhappy because they're blaming him for killing one of their cop friends. And yeah. Just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, look. I was like, oh man, there's somebody there. They're gonna try and jump him. Nope, didn't try and jump him.
Nope.
They gave him lead poisoning instead.
Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah. But the thing that was the most important about this, and it's a symbol that we've been seeing throughout the episode. Now it was on one of the police officers' necks. A couple of the officers had it here on their forearm, right above their wrist, and it's this.
Yeah.
The sign of the Punisher.
Yep. Because of course, he's in town.
Yeah, well, they're all in the Hell's Kitchen area.
Yeah, actually, I just rewatched. I was browsing YouTube looking for background information, and the scene where Frank Castle is locked in the cell block, and Wilson Fisk just kind of turns everybody on him.
Right,
is hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Just because those things should not happen to human bodies. I know they're stuntmen. I know it's special effects.
But still.
But there's still that moment of,
Granzer says, isn't White Knight another term for a Klansman? Sure, could be.
Potentially, I would.
Knights in white satin.
I'm not going to taint my Google history by looking that up.
I've already damaged my Google with a Jar Jar Binks search that should never have been made. So I'm still enjoying the repercussions of that. So let's see. Jenna says I have a therapy session with my therapist on this Friday on the phone.
Well, good.
All right.
Whatever you need for your mental health is always good. If it's therapy,
absolutely,
medication, if it's whatever it is. I mean, I've been on medication for a few months now. I'm told I'm a better human being.
I mean, except for on Thursday nights, then he's like, oh, look at me. I could be a jerk. Anyway.
Kathleen has to live with me like this. I mean, come on.
This is true. It could be worse. So there's a whole lot that's going on in Daredevil. And I am excited to see where this series is going. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of the Netflix run, I kind of got bored with Daredevil a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing against Charlie Cox is amazing. He's a fantastic actor. The perfect casting for Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
So my issues were not with him. It was like they were kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I just felt like we were watching the same episode with just slightly different characters involved and slightly different storylines. Janice says she has OCD and autism and a phobia with germs. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm glad you're getting some therapy, and that will help. It takes time. It's not an overnight thing. So, and like Kathleen says, yeah, it is hard sometimes. So
I think she was talking about living with me.
I think she was too, but I was going to just blanketly apply it to other situations because it seemed to fit what I was talking about at the moment. So I was going with it.
I'm flashing back to earlier conversations, and I don't like this reality.
Aw, John is an amazing guy.
Thanks, Janice.
So yeah, but that isn't the only show that has ever done a courtroom drama. There's other things.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about this one as well, because I think it got so very panned in the by the fans and everyone else for all the wrong reasons. And that, of course, is She-Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, she's a lawyer too, right?
Yep.
And so here's my thing with any kind of situational Kathleen, Daredevil Night Court. Yeah, that'd be great. Any kind of general setting for anything is you don't have to tell the same kind of story just because it's there. Okay.
Right.
You don't have to tell all Law and Order stories. You can also have Night Court. It's still in court, but it's a lot less serious. You can have ER and Scrubs. You can have, I know we're staying away from Star Wars for a few weeks, but you can have Andor and Skeleton Crew. Very different shows, but they're all connected.
Right. I saw She-Hulk as if Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a courtroom show.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that. Right. I think the biggest part of the issue is that there were two issues here. Well, three issues I had with the show. Number one, I will give it to the fans who complained, even though it was a lot of regurgitation, that the CGI was on She-Hulk was not that good.
Yeah,
it wasn't. It was mid-range at best, and I will go with that.
But like Kevin said in the last episode, you're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So but I'm willing to overlook that because I thought the stories were good. The other complaint I had was actually not about the show. It was about the fans watching the show who had never done anything with She-Hulk in their life and just couldn't believe that there was a girl Hulk, and B, that she was a powerful Hulk, and that she broke the fourth wall because now she was obviously just trying to be like Deadpool.
In the comics, they're not that different.
They're really not. And she breaks the fourth wall in the comics all the time.
Yep. I actually want to have She-Hulk appear with Deadpool on screen and have them jump into each other's fourth wall breaks.
It would, yeah. That'd be
just want to be great.
That'd be like breaking the 16th wall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's 4 times 4. See? Fourth wall. I done did the maths. But I really thought the show was very entertaining, and people got all uptight because, oh my God, she twerked with Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm like, whatever. Okay.
When you have a client who can pay you as much money as that situation would have called for in the real world, you'll do stupid stuff for them. Whatever industry you're in.
You'd be surprised. And talking about perfect casting, she was again a perfect casting in this role. And I am horrible with names, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name, but she's a fantastic actress. And she did an amazing job with the role and what she was given and trying to work through it. And I thought she did a really, really good job. And so much so at the end of the season, I was excited at the possibility, the premise that we would get more of her as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yep.
Granzier asks, John and Tim, not to change this topic, but do you guys like made-for-TV comics, or do you prefer them solely for movies? Is the Daredevil series an exception? I like them both. If they're it's like anything else, Granzier, it has to be done right. As long as it's done well, I'm very happy to sit it and watch it in a television format. Okay, so for instance, a lot of the things in the MCU that have come on up to the for the MCU television series, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, absolutely love that series.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked parts of Secret Invasion, but I had some very serious issues with a lot of things in Secret Invasion. And so I don't care if it's a movie. I don't care if it's a TV show. I just want it to be done good. And it doesn't mean that it has to be 100% comic book authentic for me. I'm okay with them taking license and doing some things differently than the original comic books would have done them, because that's part of artistic license. And as long as it sticks in with the overall scope of who and what the character is and was, it wouldn't be something, like having Captain America, be not Captain America, be a completely different person. Yeah.
So for me, comic books were always a thing when I was a kid. My mom taught me to read using Batman comic books. True story.
Yes, that's her name, by the way.
Yeah.
Tatiana. The last name I was struggling with, but I knew Tatiana.
Yeah. And so for me, comic books are like an ongoing story. Every month you get a different issue. If you're keeping up with like a whole corner of like Marvel comics, at least when I was younger, that's like 10 issues a month just to keep up with like X-Men, 4 just for Spider-Man. So I'm used to the idea of these being ongoing characters, like every week something new happening. So I like the TV format because it reminds me
that.
But there are some things that happen like on a bigger scale where you need a bigger budget. Like Infinity War and Endgame would not have worked on the TV show scale. They needed
not even a little bit.
They really needed the movie budget for the cast, for the special effects. So I think it needs to be a blend of having the characters develop in shows or recurring appearances in movies, like the first 3 phases of the MCU, which were almost perfect, and then having them get together in the bigger events, sort of a mixture.
I'm actually okay with that. That would be fine with me. Like I said, I don't care which way it goes. I just want it to be good.
Yeah, like Daredevil as a movie, maybe not. As a show, yes.
I think as a show it works really, really good. And that's where I was hoping Defenders was going to be really, really good on Netflix. And I'm hoping that if they bring it back, like we talked about last week, I would love for Defenders to come back. Was it last week or is it 2
weeks ago? Last week. Like
last week?
Yeah, you blended last and next somehow. It's weird. Anyway,
I'm a little on the tired side. Don't know if you're picking up on that. Why use many words when few words do trick?
All right, Kevin.
Exactly. But what I did like about it is that there's opportunity for, I think, especially for some of the smaller characters that like we're seeing in, and not that Daredevil's a smaller character,
no,
but like She-Hulk is considered a smaller character because she's not as popular outside of some of the comic book realms. Iron Fist was a smaller character.
Moon
Knight, Jessica Jones, some of these smaller characters. It's great to have them in the television style series because it helps people get used to seeing them more than just a quick cameo in a movie and they're done. So we got to see more about Moon Knight and understand more about him. We got to see more about She-Hulk and understand more about She-Hulk. We're getting to see more about Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and all these different things. And it's great because you get to see more of them. If they were in a movie, they'd be so pushed to the background.
Yeah,
I think anyway.
Right. Yeah. So there's a benefit to both. So I'd like to have both, when appropriate.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So as much as I have enjoyed She-Hulk, and I think that what people need to do is you need to go back and you need to watch She-Hulk, but not take it so seriously. I think if you're going into She-Hulk with the expectation that it was going to be this Law and Order style crime drama, I think that's where a lot of people messed up. I think they were expecting it to be a more serious show.
Yeah, I
mean, they heard it was a courtroom show.
Yeah, Abomination running a meditation retreat. That right there. Don't take this seriously.
Yeah, don't take it. Like I said, if Brooklyn Nine-Nine was a courtroom show.
Yeah.
It's very much on that premise. There's a lot of funny fourth wall breaks. There are so many just little sly sly little comments here and there. It's a whole lot of fun. But yeah, Tim and John, you should definitely watch George and Mandy's First Marriage.
I've been watching it.
We have.
I'm a couple episodes behind because life has happened recently, but I really like it.
Life happened. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
not bad at all. But yeah, so I think it go back and give She-Hulk another try with far less of the I haven't left my basement and I'm afraid of women in power people in your ear chirping at you.
Yeah,
because if you're not afraid of a strong woman, this is actually a really good show.
Oh yeah, it's great, and it had some interesting points to make, like her comment on why she was able to handle the Hulk powers better than Bruce could, because she was used to repressing her anger, controlling it on a daily basis because of the way society is. I looked at Kathleen, I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, really? Okay. I hadn't thought of it that way. I learned something.
Right?
Not much anything, but I learned something,
So that's how my wife doesn't kill me every day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Grandier says, thanks for taking my question. I would hear sometimes the comic movie should have been a TV series and vice versa, like when they casted Gal Gadot for the movie role. And Gal Gadot was perfect for the movie. She's amazing as Wonder Woman. I have no notes there for me.
I mean, some of the other characters in the movies, I kind of
yeah,
but she did a really good job with what she was given. So
he said, I would like to have had Wonder Woman as a TV series.
Me too.
I think she's an amazing character. So yeah, if you can get more of her, but getting someone like Gal Gadot to commit to a TV series might be a hard thing to do. But that's where it comes in. Are you willing, as long as they don't do what DC was doing in the past, where they have this guy on the big screen as the comic book character, and then on TV have this guy be the comic book character. Yes, the Flash series. I'm looking at you. The
series was okay.
The series with Grant Gustin was okay.
Yeah,
it was actually pretty enjoyable.
I have no educated opinion on the movie.
I do. It's hot garbage.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen it, so I can't say that.
I actually went to the theater to watch it because it had Michael Keaton as Batman in it again, and God bless it, I was going to see Michael Keaton on the big screen as Batman one more time in my life, just in case it never happened again. So I went back.
What, 90?
Yeah. So I went back so I could watch that, and the rest of it, the girl who played Supergirl in that movie, amazing.
Really?
Keaton, amazing. Everything else, hot garbage.
Now I'm hungry. Hey, Kathleen, do you have any Hot Pockets left?
Okay, so the one thing that I did enjoy about that movie, other than Michael Keaton and Sasha, I can't remember her last name, as Supergirl, the end of the movie, this is by no means a spoiler anymore, but you're expecting Michael Keaton to hop out of the car as Batman, but he's done all the twisty, turny, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly things, screwed up the timeline, and George Clooney hops out of the car as Batman. That I laughed out loud about, especially because George Clooney looks at him and drops an F-bomb. It was pretty funny.
Okay, so not a spoiler. I'm just looking for a detail. Did Clooney's costume still have nipples?
He was not in a costume. He was just in a suit.
Oh, okay.
So I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of bat nipples.
All right.
So, like I often hear too, we got 2-3 minutes. Yeah, I would like to have seen more of Henry Cavill as the Man of Steel. Because especially in some of the movies that we had him in were decent.
Yeah. The problem DC has run into is they try to make everything match the tone of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. And not all the characters fit that.
Christopher Nolan had a lot to do with the Man of Steel movie, which is also why it was so good.
Yeah.
And that story and that movie was actually really good. I was like, Henry Cavill's perfect.
Yeah.
But then, you got Justice League with 2 different directors, and then you've got Him showing up in, oh goodness, what was the Flash movie? You know, it was just kind of so.
Yeah. And at the end of was it Black Adam? Did he show up there?
Yeah, he's in Black Adam too.
And we're never gonna figure out where that went because that whole timeline got canned. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that DC was such a hot mess.
Really
such
was
a hot mess.
But
yeah, so yeah, go back. Give She-Hulk another chance.
Yeah,
it's the CGI is not the greatest. Go back, looking at it as a comedy, not a courtroom procedural.
Yeah,
look at it as something that did not take itself seriously, so you shouldn't take it seriously, and know that it's completely okay for She-Hulk to break the fourth wall because that's what she does in the comic books. It's okay. And just like that, because I said that, we lost 2 viewers. That's awesome. All right, so
okay, but like the CG does not have to affect the story. You can still enjoy the story even if the images aren't perfect. Like, I will still go back and watch Doctor Who from like 20 years ago, almost. Stories are still great. Graphics,
with some of the worst CGI you've ever seen in your life, but it's passable and plausible.
BBC television budget, not the greatest special effects. Great storytelling, though.
How much do we have for this week's episode? We've got a $5. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
But what I would like to see out of this, and I would be very excited to see out of both of the Daredevil and the She-Hulk. Now, if you remember, at the end of the She-Hulk run, we actually got this.
Yeah. For anybody who hasn't read the books, Matt is not known for sleeping at his own apartment all the time.
Yeah. He's friendly.
Very friendly.
Very friendly.
Fortunately, not allergic to penicillin. Anyway.
Clearly. But what I would love to see is a Law and Order style show with these two, but not a completely serious Law and Order style show. Little bit of, with cameos from other superheroes and in the Hell's Kitchen area, and they go take care of stuff, and
Are you proposing an MCU Matlock?
A bit, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I would binge that.
Right?
I would love that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they go to different parts of the country and they help solve crimes in these different areas, and they do all these things, and when they go to this area, there's they meet up with so and so, this hero from that town, and they meet up from this hero from that town to solve something. In this episode, there's not anyone because they're often God knows who where, but it's just the two of them, and they're supposed to be on vacation, but somebody got murdered at the table next to them, and they're going to solve it, and
they're defending.
Going to be a lot of.
They're defending heroes who don't have an Iron Man style budget and legal team, so they're helping out like the Great Lakes Avengers and Squirrel Girl.
There's so much that could be done with those two, and I think it would be so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I want to see this.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. So, but that's all I got on that. I just wanted to share that because the more I think about it, the more I saw them on screen together, I'm like, the chemistry between Charlie Cox and Tatiana was very good. They worked very well together, in my opinion. And to see them be able to do more would just be a whole lot of fun. And I think I would really, really enjoy that.
Yeah. But back to Henry Cavill for just a second.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to the next thing that is apparently in the pipeline for him, which is he's attached to some Warhammer 40K series over on Amazon.
Possibly. Yeah.
Possibly. Okay.
No, it's been pretty much confirmed.
Yeah. Because I mean that's one of those franchises where it's so dark and so gritty that it's ridiculous. And I want to see it.
That's a passion project for him because he is such a big Warhammer fan. So
yeah. Like I just want to see the orcs. I want to see a good WOG.
All right.
Yeah. And Tim's like, I need to look that up now. But
I do. I've never really paid much attention to Warhammer. I'll be completely honest. But I'd check it out.
It's a good way to spend a lot of money on a very small amount of paint.
I've also heard that before. All right. Speaking of upcoming news, this was reported recently, and we're just going to end with a quick announcement of this. Maybe you guys have seen this as well. Sadie Sink is joining the Spider-Man 4 cast.
Yeah. And I mean, right away, people jumped on with the, well, they're bringing mutants into the MCU. Maybe she's going to be Jean Grey because both characters have red hair. And apparently that's your only qualifier because there's no cosmetic team on any movie set. Right?
Right.
But there are other options. I mean, I looked this up earlier. Let's see.
I think you're right, Kathleen. I don't think Amazon will mess with 40K like Netflix did with Witcher. So I don't think so. Amazon typically stays a little more true to the base, in my opinion.
But I mean, if you're going to go with just redhead characters, Zendaya didn't play Mary Jane.
She played MJ.
Yeah, she played Michelle Jones, MJ. So I mean, my problem with that though would be that Peter would be college age, and Sadie looks a little younger than that. I mean, technically she's 22 and he's 28, but if he's just going into college and she's a few years younger, that gets a little shaky. I don't even think Murdoch would take that.
Yeah, all depends on what they're doing with it,
right?
And who she is. But she might not even be MJ. She could be somebody completely different.
Really?
And yeah, and I would be okay with this if we were to see something like this. Hold on. Stupid, dumb, stupid technology. Hold on. I have to remove things from the studio that I've already showed because apparently I've hit my limit of what I can share on screen.
And this is one of those things where I'm not going to make fun of you.
I didn't know this. We haven't never used this.
Right. But this thing we're talking about actually brought back some childhood memories for me and Tim.
All right. So we could get something like this. There it is. Okay.
Yes. Spidey and his amazing friends from, what was this, the early 80s?
Yes. Previous guest, Neil Ross, was a voice on this show.
Really? Who did he voice?
Goblin.
Oh, okay. But I mean, the great thing about this is you get Spidey, and Spidey's always fun. But then you get to introduce Iceman. You get an actual mutant on screen.
Yeah.
And then who could Sadie Sink possibly be playing?
Firestar.
I'm sorry, what was that, Tim? Firestar. Yeah.
Oh.
We're not addressing that. This is a family show.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. She could be Firestar, and that would be really cool. A really cool tie-in to the early 80s animated series and some of the comic book stuff with Spidey and his amazing friends, and that would just be so much fun.
Yeah,
I'd be a kid in the candy store, honestly. I'd be like, And I love the fact, by the way, if you are wondering what we're talking about, you haven't watched these are actually available on Disney Plus. You can go back in the Marvel section, you can find these, and those are all available to watch, and it's a lot of fun. Very campy Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh yeah,
but a lot of good memories.
Yeah,
of me in a bowl of Cheerios because we were poor. But anyway, it wasn't good cereal. It was Cheerios.
I don't even buy name brand Cheerios. I get the off brand stuff. You get like 3 times as much for the same amount of money.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I'm cheap.
No, I'm okay with that. That was just gonna cry. Anyway,
just gonna cry in my cereal.
Yeah, I had my cereal when I watched my Spider-Man. It was okay.
Sitting there in your underoos.
Yeah, I was.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh,
but
anyway,
it'd be cool casting. I think this could make for an interesting story.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
New characters, and especially if they bring Iceman in.
That'd be a neat way to introduce them to officially into the MCU.
Yeah, because we've already got Kamala Khan as a mutant.
We got Beast.
Yep, we got Beast. I mean, that's in a different universe. But,
we've seen him on screen
a little bit.
We've seen him on screen.
Yeah. But we've also seen Apocalypse on screen, but I'd like to see it done a little bit better.
Yeah, but that movie doesn't count for the MCU.
True. I mean, Disney owns it now, but it's an alternate timeline that they're going to kill off in Secret Wars, which I'm okay with.
And started getting killed off in Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Yeah. They're going to make you do this till you're 90. And on that note, we need some younger actors, okay? We need the younger people, younger than me, even younger than Janice, coming in and taking over some of these roles for recasting, because, I don't like it when my superheroes look like grandpas.
I don't like it when my superheroes look like they probably take more Advil than I do.
Yeah, that too.
So, but yeah. All right. So, just as a wrap up, because we're getting pretty close to our hour time here.
Yep.
If you guys haven't had a chance to catch this already, we sat down with Dan Madsen. Now, Dan is a really, really cool dude, and I so enjoyed talking with him. Dan is the guy who started the Star Wars official fan club. He started the Star Trek official fan club, became good friends with both George Lucas and Gene Roddenberry. He ran the Back to the Future fan club. He ran the Lord of the Rings fan club. He was on the movie sets for every single one of them, did interviews with all the cast members. If there's something out there, he's been a part of it. And now for the last few years, he's been working as a marketing consultant and publicist for a company called Her Universe, which is the clothing line run by Ashley Eckstein. You may know her best as Ahsoka from Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. She is the voice of Ahsoka. And so it's a clothing line designed for female fans, and it's got just there are so many cool things that I've seen on there. We talked about in the episode. A lot of the things that I saw, I was like, I need that. I want that. Why can't they make that for dudes? But yeah, it's a really cool conversation with Dan, and he explains how he got into his fandoms, because Dan is a little person, and he talks about coming home from school and being traumatized by bullies, and how Star Trek made him feel included and loved and cared for, and all these things. It's a really, really touching story, but it's also a really cool story of following your dreams and living out your dreams. So really cool guy. So if you haven't checked that out already, you can of course find it here on our YouTube channel, or you can find it over on our Good Pods account. Of course, it's available anywhere you listen to your audio podcast, but we prefer that you go listen to it on Good Pods. It's a really cool listening experience over there. Funny you mentioned about our superheroes looking old. It's why I hated the old 1950 Superman, George Reeves. It's because old, overweight Superman.
Yeah,
I think back then they were going just for a recognizable face and name, somebody that they could get in the suit. I swear I grew up in the wrong universe.
Yeah.
I wish I could have talked to Dan Stars. We made it worse getting bullied. But he's talking, nowadays for sure. But Dan is also, one of the other things that Dan did that's really cool. Dan is the reason we have Star Wars Celebration.
What?
Yeah, he's the founder of Star Wars Celebration.
Really?
Yeah, and he talked about, in the episode, he talks about going and sitting down with George and planning it and all the hoops and hurdles they had to go through. We didn't go through all of it. But he's like, that's a story all of its own. That's an episode, an interview all of its own. And I'm like,
I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
I'm like, we have time. Come on back. So, but we're going to get Dan back on the show. It was just too much of a fun conversation to not have him back again, because he's got Lord of the Rings stories. He's got Back to the Future stories. He's just a super cool dude. Anyway, check him out on social media if you want, but he's a lot of fun. They were going for a more mature look for Superman in the 50s and 60s, but the 20s age looked too young, I guess. Yeah, probably so. And yes, Kathleen, Disney does seemingly own everything, which I thought it was funny. I saw this the other day because I watch a lot of the show MASH. I love MASH. Alan Alda is one of my favorite actors. I think he's a genius. Anyway, I found it funny that because that series is now owned by Disney.
Oh no.
That means Klinger's a Disney princess. So and I just laughed. I'm like, yeah, okay. You like hash? I like corned beef hash. Corned beef hash is amazing, but I love the show MASH. Yeah. But
I mean, depending on what state you're in, certain things are legal, certain things are not. We're not going to get into
Michigan. That. I don't know that one's legal here yet. But
Dave's not here, man. I'm just saying.
Dave's not here. But yeah, go check out Dan Madsen. It's a lot of yeah. Klinger is a Disney princess, absolutely.
Okay, so
I would actually, Grandeur, I would love to sit down and do probably we'd have to do it on our Discord channel, but just do it on the channel itself. But I would absolutely do a MASH watch through on Discord for sure, 100%. No, that one I'm not even saying the first name, but he was only on a couple episodes in season 1, and then he was gone. And I'm like, I think even they figured out maybe that was a bad name.
Yeah.
But yeah, our neighbors had some potent stuff tonight.
I was in here.
Oh, you want to try out for football? I'm more of a tomboy. Well, hey, do it. There's also women's professional tackle football leagues now. They're fully padded and stuff. Oh yeah. I was watching a TikTok the other day of they gave the football, and I'm not saying, I would say this if this was a dude as well. This was a very well-rounded individual that they gave the football to burst through the line, and the opposing team had a twig for a linebacker.
Oh no.
This woman got blown up 7 ways from Sunday. And I was just like, oh, you didn't even see the bumper of the bus that hit you. I just
so now I want to go watch 2 movies. One is The Replacements, because I always want to watch The Replacements. But also, you talk about watching sports late at night. Made me think of ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho, yeah.
And now I want to watch Dodgeball. Kathleen, can we watch Dodgeball?
I love Dodgeball.
No, the kid probably shouldn't watch Dodgeball with us.
Colonel Potter all the way. Henry Blake was too whiny, pushovery for me. I love Colonel Potter. Loved his backstory. Yeah. After the show. Yeah, after MASH. Yeah, I remember that. I was only I think it was only 1 season for After MASH, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, and it only had a couple of the characters. It had Klinger, Potter, and I want to say Mulcahy, the preacher. And they were running a hospital somewhere. I want to say it was in Akron, supposed to be.
Ohio?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't.
Because that's where Klinger is from. Was the Akron, Ohio area.
Oh, he's from Toledo.
Yeah. Toledo, that's right. That's where it was, in Toledo. Yeah, not with a kid. Too many jokes to explain.
Also, our child would then be throwing wrenches at her friends, which might be
I can totally see your daughter yelling. I can see your daughter yelling, if you could dodge your wrench. Whoosh. She is your child.
Oh, she really is.
So, but yeah, let's figure out the logistics on that. Maybe we can do a watch party over on Discord and just have some fun there. Yeah, just too goofy for me. I agree, Grandeur, just too goofy. But yeah, I would totally be down for that. And, Discord's a nice, easy way to do that. And because we're not displaying it out onto a YouTube channel, probably less chances of us getting slapped on the wrist for that. So, but anyway, any parting words, thoughts, comments there? Jonathan?
Well, Kathleen's assessment that she doesn't care about honor throwing wrenches at other kids. The kids need to move faster down in the chat. I agree. I mean, I like my friends. I like my friends' kids, but
those kids need to move faster. My dad hated both MASH, the movie, and TV. You know what? I've never, as much as I love the TV series, I've never actually gone back and watched the MASH movie because I was afraid that I wouldn't like it. And I'm still kind of nervous about that because I love the MASH series so much, and I love Alan Alda so much. I'm afraid to go back and watch the movie. Maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any book recommendations? I'm not typically your guy for book recommendations. John, you got any?
Currently, so I'm going to be honest. I've gone back to reading comic books. Obvious reasons being that it's current. If you can find a copy of Daredevil Man Without Fear, it's a Frank Miller 5-part series. I like that. The Jeff Smith Bone series, which is over 1,000 pages if you get it in the one collected volume or spread out across 9. It's fun. It's pretty lighthearted. Other than that,
I'm listening to two.
Go ahead.
I'm listening to a couple books, but one of them is. Well, I know it counts as reading, but I'm just saying they're not new books, so they're not anything where I can go, oh, hey, this is a new book, you should check it out for a recommendation there. I can tell you that they're both Star Wars books, and then there's one older book than that. Star Wars Shadow of the Sith. These are from people that have been on our show. Adam Christopher wrote Shadow of the Sith. It's set right before we meet up with a new cast in the sequel trilogy, right before in the time period where Luke and the other fellows were looking for the Sith dagger and all these different things, the Wayfinders and such. And it kind of gives a little bit more of the backstory of Rey's parents and talks about them and everything else. And her tie to Palpatine is a little bit more clearly obvious in the book. And then also from the High Republic era, I'm listening to a Cavan Scott book called The Path of Vengeance. But I'm just getting started into that, so I really can't even tell you what it's about because I just got it and I'm just getting into it. So, but then of course I'm just for funsies because I like it and I love the way Will Wheaton reads a book. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline because I'm a huge Ernest Cline fan. So, but that's about it.
Andy Serkis reading Lord of the Rings was good too.
Other than that, John has been reading Itty Bitty Princess Kitty.
Okay.
I have to admit that's not what I read the first 2 times I read that on the screen. I had to circle back through.
Yeah. So it's a series of books that my daughter likes. The most recent one just came out a couple weeks ago. I actually pre-ordered it for her, so she got it at the house on release day. Because when your little girl is into something, you have no choice but to be into it either. Yeah.
Agreed.
Now,
that's what being a girl dad is about.
Yeah. Now, if she would just start listening to like Sleep Token with me, that'd be great. The new song that dropped today, Emergence, is definitely a thing.
I'll check it out. All right, guys, we are over our 1 hour. We're going to end our show here. So like I said, please, if you haven't already, go check out the interview with Dan Madsen. We had a little bit of a glitch, by the way. He doesn't appear on camera till about the 7-minute mark. Just couldn't do anything about it. Recording issue. But absolutely loved that interview. And absolutely one pride. Woo woo.
Yep.
Hopefully there's enough to be one pride about next year. I'm scared. Anyway, with that being said, may the force be with you as you continue to live long and prosper. Goodbye.
Copyright 2025 FSF PopCast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF PopCast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com.